What's shaking, my friends? My name is Shay. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a part 2 of Overhyped books for you. So quickly to recap my rating scale, I do not give 0 stars. I do not rate my DNFs. If I gave a book 1 star, it means that I found no redeemable qualities in that book. I cannot recommend it. There was some major flaws in either the plot, the storyline, or what have you. If I rated it a 2 star, I can understand why people do like it, but it just was not for me. If I rated a book 3 stars, it means it was an average read. I don't necessarily regret my time reading it, but I'm not going to actively recommend. If I gave a book 4 stars, it means that I overall enjoyed my time reading the book. It is one that I would recommend. If I rate a book 5 stars, it means it is a favorite of all time. I got this magical feeling while reading the book, and I just could not put that book down. So, with that being said, let's hop into these Overhyped books. So, I don't have any of these physical copies because, of course, I've already unhauled them. So, let's go ahead and talk about our first one. This is going to be the thriller Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. Listen, this is probably one of the most overhyped books in my opinion. Married couple that literally couple goals, basically. People would love to be them. They throw fancy parties, all this yada yada yada, but of course, are things really what they seem? Why does she never answer the phone? Why do you never see her out by herself? Yada yada yada. So here's the thing. To me, there was no mystery in this book and there was no thriller. It was literally a story being told. I knew what was going to happen at the end. It was no shocker. And what was meant to be a twist, I mean, it wasn't even really that mysterious. I am shocked that this book gets mostly 5 stars from people. This is one of the only books that I have rated 1 star. And the reason is because basically I don't know if it was so overhyped in my head that I just could not. It was boring to me. It was just basically a story, and literally, honestly, it could have been just like a literary fiction book. Like, I just didn't find it very mysterious or thrilling. So, did not care for that. My next thriller hyped read is My Lovely Wife. So, this follows our married couple who decided to become murderers. And so, this one is kind of the same as Behind Closed Doors. I just felt that it was not thrilling. There was one little twist in there, but I kind of guessed it early on. And then the rest just read like a story, like I was reading from somebody's life. There was no, to me, mystery to it. There was no thriller to it. And I gave the book 2 stars. I don't understand the hype of that book. But again, everybody likes different things. The next book that we can talk about thriller-wise is No Exit by Taylor Adams. So if you saw my mid-month wrap-up, you will see that I read Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams and gave it 2 stars. I gave No Exit 3 stars. I didn't think it was a terrible book, but I don't understand necessarily the hype around it. It follows a girl who is on her way home into a snowstorm, and basically the roads get closed and she is snowed in and she has to stop at this rest area, and of course there are other people that also have to stop at this rest area, and she goes outside and she looks inside a van and she sees a child that is basically imprisoned in this van, and it goes from there. I didn't find the plot as compelling as other people. I don't know if it's just because, again, I don't like those timelines that just stay in one section. I know it was very successful for Taylor Adams, but I just did not care for it. I think it would have been better off if it was something like a movie. I think those sort of books tend to do well in that kind of atmosphere. The next book thriller that we can talk about is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I originally read this book because I was hearing everybody talk about it. They compare it to Secret History, which is one of my favorite books of all time. And so this follows basically this guy is getting out of jail after a decade, and this police detective, I believe, wants him to tell the true story. Did he actually kill who he is accused of killing, or did somebody else do it. So he's trying to get the full story, and so this guy's telling the story, and it follows this group of people that go to this drama theatrical college, and basically somebody dies, and it's a whodunit. My problem is I didn't find any of these characters likable, and I really didn't find any mystery again in the book. I am very particular about mystery thrillers. I have read so many that it is very hard to, shock me. So that may be a little bit of a problem with these mystery thrillers, but these are just the specific ones that I feel are very overhyped. I feel like so many people are giving this book 5 stars, then that thrill or shocking moment or plot twist has to be something that's not easily guessed. That must be why these people are giving it 5 stars. But again, it's subjective. So the next couple books are romances. So the first romance I'm going to talk about is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Now, if you saw my favorite books of all time, you will see that People We Meet on Vacation is one of those favorite books of all time, and I'm so happy I gave her a second chance because I did not care for Beach Read. Beach Read follows our main character, January, who is going off to her out of town to pack up her dad's house. He has passed away, and she's got to do that, and also she is a romance writer, and she's trying to write her next book, and she hasn't written a book in a while, and her next door neighbor in this new town is Augustus, and he is a thriller writer, and he's trying to write his next thriller book, so they get together and try to swap genres. She's going to write a thriller and he's going to write a romance, and they're going to see how it goes from there. And this book is not just a romance. It studies grief and all these things that January is going through. If you know me, I do like grief, and I think maybe that hindered me a little bit because I've read so many grief stories, and I have read good grief portrayals and bad grief portrayals, and I just did not care for this one. And I also just did not feel connected to the romance at all. I did not feel any chemistry between January and Augustus, so I gave this one ultimately 3 stars. My last romance is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey Mcwhiston. This is not really a shocker. This follows our president's son and a prince, and basically they are known to be kind of not friendly enemies, and for press sake they have to try to fake friend, and so while they are fake friending each other, they actually get into a relationship which they have to keep private. My issue with this book, of course, comes with all the politics in it. I felt it was too long, too boring, and if you're not really into politics, I can see why you do not like this book, because I am one of those people. I also just did not like Casey Mcwhiston's One Last Stop. I think I said that in my unhaul video. I did unhaul it. That I know is also an unpopular opinion, but I don't think I'll be giving Casey Mcwhiston another chance because I have read 2 of her books and I have disliked both of them. So that's it for my unpopular opinions. Of course, I have more, but that's all I'm going to go through today. If you have a book you feel is overhyped, leave it down in the comments below. That's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.